Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our Thursday night Anamkara meditation program. So this is a poem from the book Kalidas Bazaar. So let your mind return to its original nature as mind, pure consciousness. Everything else will find its rightful place and assume its rightful size in your life. This boundless mind embraces all. This boundless mind is boundless heart. Know this and know the love that embraces all. So it's all about getting our mind into a state where we can directly experience that boundless love. That is the source of mind itself. That is the source of consciousness. That's what holds everything in its embrace. So knowing that then informs our practices moment by moment. And the practices we want to do with that attitude as well, with love. You know, I remember Baba Muktananda saying, all sadhanas, all practices without love are nothing but hard labor. So it's also a practice to bring that loving attention, that loving care, to sitting to meditate, to doing mantra, to chanting, to serving others. That we can remember, oh, this is a practice of the heart. This is not just a principle I'm trying to follow. This is a practice of the heart. And this is particularly important. You know, that's what I was talking about a little bit last week, when you see the difference between some of the texts, like the Heart Sutra and the Ashtavakra Samhita, even the Ravana Shatakam, that they're an expression of the logos, the archetype sort of the principle of knowing through thought and mind. And that's very different than, for instance, when you get into Tara practices or Kali, where there's this love, this embrace, this walking in the world, this bringing that in. It's all about that love. And that's what we especially need now, because it's love that makes connectedness. It's love that makes relatedness. It's the loving embrace that invites us into that sublime union. So coming back to love, and especially at a time when this world is in such desperate need of it, the earth itself needs love and respect. The people of the earth need love and respect. The species across the planet need love and respect. Even the plants need love and respect. There's nothing that doesn't need love and respect. And yet we spin out on the mind. And that's part of also what the imbalance that has happened through, following just principles of, we can exploit this, we can exploit the environment, we can just extract one thing after another, as if we were unrelated from it, as if we weren't a part of nature, as if the whole fabric of nature, of which we are an integral part, wasn't going to be frayed by what we were doing. That abstraction is ridiculous. It's through that relatedness, our coming to know our total interdependence with everything. There's nothing that's separate from us. And so our actions have an impact on everything. So that growing wisdom, that reclaiming the feminine, the divine feminine, that's inherent in everyone, not just women, men as well. And the need to be able to access that function of relatedness, of connectedness, of love. And so we also want to keep that in our minds when we're looking at doing practices. Because the very word practice, the very word discipline, doesn't necessarily invoke love for people. And so remember, it's a loving practice. It's a loving discipline. It's out of love that we want to know this, and with great compassion and the boundlessness of that love, bring it into the world. So remembering that one of the greatest practices is love. One of the greatest practices is compassion. One of the greatest practices is that kind of patience and kindness. These are also all in relationship. So bringing us into relationship is also along the path of the upayas. Because first we start out of very disconnected, Then we come into loving relationship, and then we come into union. So we come into union with the infinite, and in the infinite we discover that encompasses all beings, all of creation. It's all ourself. There is no other. There is no other. You are that. Tatwam asi. That's what the practices are aimed at. And that's why, in a sense, we can say, if you take what the Buddha and Christ said, and all the great yogis, saints and sages, the mystics and lovers of God, it can be reduced to 2 words. Choose love. There is nothing higher than love, nothing purer, nothing more selfless, nothing more powerful. And it is present in every moment. So choose love in all times, in all places. Choose love, for love has already chosen you. You are already, right here, right now, in that loving embrace. It's waking up to that. It's waking up to that. You are resting in the divine embrace, the loving embrace of the infinite. When we go into the stillness of meditation, that's where we first begin to discover it. Because our habit of identifying with the mind and getting caught in all the content, in the stillness of silence, that habit, that veil of thoughts disappears. And then the truth. You are in that embrace. Right here, right now. All times, all places. And the only thing between you and knowing that is the mind and our identification with it. That's why all the traditions say that's the root ignorance. Not knowing the fullness of that love, of that boundlessness of being, that intimate connection with all that is, as our very self. As our very self. Not something I have to like and appreciate. No, as my very self. That's what these are aimed at knowing. Beyond anything the mind can actually imagine. You hold it all beings, all creation. The sun, the moon, the stars, the galaxies, the infinitude, dark matter, light matter, all rest within your being, all held in that embrace. All that can be known by dissolving into meditation. Or just dissolve. So we end with this prayer. That may all our practices truly benefit everyone, and may all beings know complete freedom from suffering. Namaste.